Sometimes our body will give us the exit interview and we ignore it and we push past it. What if your body is giving you the exit interview for your job right now and you've been ignoring all the signs? You wake up on Sunday thinking about Monday. Your head starts to hurt before you even clock in. You start to feel all of the emotions in your body, in your nervous system, in your mind. Those are signs, and we have to stop ignoring the signs. The biggest sign that it tells you is that you're in misalignment. Your body is telling you, hey, this isn't working. And depending on the nature of the job that you work, it may require more than you have capacity to give. And this is the thing, I've been talking about soul sucking jobs for a couple of days now. And at what cost are we going to keep working these jobs and staying in these roles that quite literally leave you empty by the end of the shift? By the time you have to clock out, you barely have energy for your kids. You barely have energy for yourself. Your brain felt like it did the mental Olympics all day long, even if you just sat in that chair. You don't even have energy for your hobbies and the things that you love to do. And guess what else happens? You start to spiral. That's when sickness comes about. That's when we get diagnoses, cancer, breast cancer survivor here. That's when we start to gain weight. We don't recognize ourselves, all because we're giving our soul for a paycheck and giving our soul for a job that will replace us in a week and put that new job ad up in 2 seconds. We can't keep functioning like that. I remember waking up and dreading Monday. And I tell you why I remember it, because it just happened to me. I was in the middle of journaling. I was at a coffee shop, just relaxing. And the thought of work the next day just hit me out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh my God, I can feel my head started hurting. And then when for me, I get pressure right here and then I'll feel it in my neck. And I'm like, this is not okay, because the day hasn't even come and I haven't even clocked in yet. And it's not so much the work I do, it's just the container in which I do the work in that I don't like. I don't love jobs where they micromanage you, where you're always on, where you can give so much of yourself, but little is given back to you, where it's like, oh, okay, if you can work this shift, we are expecting high volume. We appreciate if you can be available and support our customers, support our people, and we'll give you this for it. It's not a, oh yeah, thank you so much for all that you do. We appreciate your effort and your works. They mean so much to us. If anyone can support further to help us get through this rush, we would be so grateful for that. We want to make sure we give you an extra day off or do this and this for you. It's always, when jobs always focus on like their customer and lack focusing on their employees, I think that those are the jobs that experience more high turnover. I think those are the jobs that, until you've had a taste of a company that actually values you, like doesn't just say it, but you actually see it and feel it in your schedule, in the leadership, with the setup of your days and the support that you get. Until you've had a taste of that, you'll think the latter is normal, and it's not. It used to be normal back in the day for our parents and them, and even when I started working back in 2016, but it's not normal anymore. And it shouldn't still be that way. And it's unfortunate when you experience jobs that still function like that, because whew, let me tell you, it is soul sucking, quite literally soul sucking. I want a job where I wake up on Sunday and I'm not thinking about Monday. I didn't take work home with me. I can ease into my day and have peace within my day. I have a job where I'm not being contacted because there's no fires, that to that magnitude that I have to put out. A job where you're not micromanaged. A job with ease. A job with, strong leadership. A job where you feel the reward of it because you know you're doing good work, and you feel the reward because it comes back to you, either through unlimited PTO, either through true flexibility within your day, either through the trust and autonomy that you can get knowing that your work is getting done, not jobs that require you to always be there, always be on, and barely take a true break. And even if you take a break, that little break is not enough for the nature of the work that you're doing. Hopefully, you felt that deep sigh. So, when we get these signs in our body, that's quite literally our nervous system telling us something, hello, SOS, like something is off, something is wrong here. And when you wake up anticipating Monday in a negative way, I don't want to live like that. I don't want a job like that. I never have. I've had that in the past. I said, you know what? I was not going back. And here we are. Somehow I've ended up back in that same situation. And I am working on my exit strategy. I don't know about you, but for me, I mean, listen, at what cost? Like, what's the cost? Because I know that I'm getting a paycheck and I know I'm exchanging my time for this paycheck for right now because that's what I feel I need to do in this season. But what is the bigger cost? Because it feels a little bit deeper than a paycheck. When you look at the bigger picture, it's like cost of your time, cost of your energy, cost of your mind. You barely have time after work to even think. You probably log off or clock out and just drive home with no music, or you slam that computer shut and you just sit in the dark for a minute. You barely have time and energy to cook dinner for the people, the family, the kids, the parents. You barely have time to communicate or text friends back or even try to start planning and doing things that require your outside life because you've given not only these 9 hours to this job, but it really felt like 16 because it's so mentally taxing. A job doesn't have to be physical or manual labor for it to be exhausting. And don't get me wrong, those jobs are exhausting too because I watch my brother do it every single day, 8 days a week. And I don't even think there are 8 days in this week, and there's seven. So it doesn't have to be a physical like job for it to still feel heavy and for you to still feel the exhaustion from that job and that role. The cost is so deep. I mean, I don't know about you, but like therapy sessions, of course they add up. But therapy, I mean, then you look at the things that you're doing emotionally because you're trying to soothe the way your nervous system got worked up from that job. I told y'all my thing sometimes is getting off the laptop, taking a nice long drive to Starbucks, and sitting in the parking lot drinking my chamomile mint tea. That's like four something dollars a day. If I do it every single day, it's costing me food. It's costing me energy. It costs me relationships. It costs me my personal balance and calmness and peace and ease. It costs me more because I'm physically trying to care for myself and mentally trying to care for myself from the thing that keeps like upticking my mental care. So the cost is much more than a paycheck. I don't know if I'm low key giving my paycheck right back at this point. I might. I don't know. I got to do the numbers. I legit really need to do the numbers. But the biggest cost of all for me when I experienced this 4 years ago, no, five, was breast cancer. Right before that shift ended, I was working a very stressful job, to be honest, because it was in healthcare. It was a startup at the time. And when we think healthcare, we think like, oh, service and the sensitivity and the empatheticness that needs to be involved in it and the gentleness. Yes, those are important, very important layers, especially for the member or patient experience. But it goes beyond that because one thing about healthcare, it takes, baby, it takes. And I have very little moments of it giving back to me. And in the moments that it has given back to me, I've been so joyful and so grateful, but it just didn't outweigh what it took. So at the time of that diagnosis, I was in a very stressful role. Sometimes I would work open to close. I had leadership that was toxic. And not all the leaders were like that, but it was a handful that made that job so hard and so challenging. I just could not understand it. And then I'm in traffic, right? And so when you're already feeling like depleted, undervalued, underpaid, you start to stack up every little thing that you got to do, just sometimes without even knowing it and realizing like this just isn't worth it. And I was like trying to do everything I could to leave up until getting that breast cancer diagnosis. And I had to stay for the needs that I had on that unexpected journey. But that cost me so much. 32, stage two, triple negative breast cancer. What? I had to reduce my hours at work. I went down to 4 days a week. Treatments were every single Friday, like a second job. I was there from 8 to 3, 8 to 4, every single Friday for over 25 weeks, for over 25 rounds of chemo. I lost my hair, I lost my eyelashes, and my nails turned black. But you didn't know it because I kept paint on them so other people wouldn't see. I couldn't control my hair being gone, but I could wear a wig. I couldn't control my lashes being gone, but I tried my best with YouTube University. I could control you not seeing the black nails because I could paint over them. I couldn't control the bone spasms sometimes, the nauseousness from the reaction of chemo. I couldn't control not having an appetite and sometimes just needing smoothies or barely taking that in. I couldn't control the double mastectomy that I needed to opt into just to try to reduce my future chances. And then the reconstructive surgery I had to have a year after the double mastectomy to make it look like I had something. Hello, okay? I couldn't control all of those things, but it made me wonder, what could I have controlled before that even happened that I didn't? Why did I push through so heavy, so hard, so dedicated, showing up on time? I'm running late. Let me text my boss. I'm needing this or this. Let me let her know, and let me always be in communication, and you be an extension of my life so I can always tell you what I'm doing and blah 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 and yada yada yada. And that's the people pleaser in me. And sometimes these jobs bring out most, if not the worst of us, because we already got internal issues that we probably haven't even acknowledged or dealt with. And then you have a boss where it makes it seem like you gotta show up on a platter, a silver platter, every single time. No, wasn't worth it. Do not recommend. Remove, unsubscribe, cancel my membership, please. Every storm has a reason. A lot of storms have a reason. And sometimes the reason is I don't understand the reason. But I learned like God will bring about a storm. Sometimes he does. Sometimes it's God. Sometimes it's us. Sometimes it's other people. And sometimes, baby, it's the devil working in overdrive, overtime. And whatever that was, it was a storm in my life that I could not figure out for the life of me. Why did this happen? But the way that it sat me down, the way that it slowed me down, the way that it course corrected me, the way that it washed people out that just no longer needed to serve for that journey or my life, the way that it brought other people back in and showed me who loved me, who cared for me, who really stepped up for me, who really helped me. The way that it did all of those things in my life was so profound, so profound. And it showed me so much wrong that I had going on, especially in that moment of pushing through, of toxic positivity, of being where I was no longer supposed to be. But God held me and sustained me there for the needs of my breast cancer journey. And I got the support that I needed from that moment in that office, in that presence. And that I am forever grateful for. That I will truly say, like, people stepped up and I appreciated that more than anything. And it showed me a different side of them than what I originally experienced. But all that to say, at what cost will we keep working these jobs that are running us into the ground? And when will we challenge the traditions of how we're functioning? When will we challenge the norm? I got a unicorn job right after that job. And maybe that's a video for another day, but this job was like literally sent from God. And I could not believe it. I to this day, one of the top two best jobs I've ever worked in my entire life for one of the most amazing companies I've worked. So when I say I know what it doesn't have to be like, I stand on that we have power and autonomy to actually create and cultivate good communities, good work environments, good workspaces where people are valued, they're appreciated. I mean, hell, if we got to be here 40 hours a week, at least make it good and enjoyable, you know? So don't ignore your body, don't ignore your nervous system, and don't ignore the signs that you're feeling right now when you realize this job just really isn't it, because your body is giving you the exit interview and you very well may need to submit the date. You may need to sit down and decide, all right, this is going to be the day, because I'm not going to let it take all of this from me. It can't keep costing me like this. So, if that resonated with you, let me know in the comments what's your date? What are the next steps for you? Let me know what your plans are. If you haven't already, comment, like, subscribe. I welcome you to the family. If you don't know, I'm Renee. I create daily conversations that bring you back home to yourself, that gives you permission to choose yourself, to heal, and to create a life that you love. That is the ultimate goal here. And this is what we're working towards. And we will experience it, because guess what? We gonna look back on this video in this moment and say, yep, I planned my exit strategy and my exit strategy worked. I trusted myself enough. I betted on myself enough, and I knew I was capable enough, because I knew that I'm worth more. My body is worth more. My life is worth more. My mind is worth the ease. My heart is worth the peace. My body is worth the relaxation, because I should not be tensed walking up in this job, dealing with other people's kids, okay? Dealing with these folks. Or the container in my situation, the container of the job. So stay tuned for more. I actually have something very special coming and pertaining to our exit strategy. So click the link below to sign up to be notified. I don't want you to miss this. I don't want you to miss this. Share this with a friend that needs it. Share it with your mama. Share it with your cousin and your brother too. And until the next video, y'all, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.